Hello guys, welcome to a new video of me breaking down the week for you. As we can clearly see on the weekly, if I go to the weekly time frame, as this is a weekly breakdown video, and last week was a very bearish week, you can say, or also you can argue that the week is rejecting from this demand zone right here, which was made on 26th of June, and the weekly bias was not clear for me because it's also looking like it's going up, and it's also looking like it might go down, right? So whenever we are in doubt, what we do, we go to the dollar, we go to the DXY to look for our bias. When we go to the bias on the weekly time frame, we can clearly see the buyers pushed the market up, but the sellers came in and took all the pressure, and it closed as a very bearish candle right here. So the weekly bias for dollar was bearish rather than bullish, and the GBP obviously will be bullish then, but the weekly bias was not clear. And if we see the euro, my bias was clearly bullish. For the GBP USD, my bias was bullish. Looking at this candle, look at here, huge buying pressure here, huge buying pressure there, huge selling pressure there. So my bias was bullish for Monday. For the weekly, it was not one of the cleanest bias, so it was likely to not trade but Monday. But let me show you, when I go to the daily time frame, it makes things clearer. As we can see, Wednesday was bearish, Thursday was a bullish pin bar, clearly rejecting. This is the exact candlestick we want to see every time when we are taking a reversal trade or when we want a reversal from the market. Friday closed as a doji, not a bullish, not a bearish. It opened here, closed a little bit above, so maybe it's a little bit more to the bullish. But now we go to DXY. DXY makes it so much clearer that the DXY is going down. So now Monday, obviously we will continue looking for sells, simple as that. And GBP USD will look for buys then, right? That's how I determine my bias. And on Euro USD, we can clearly see it was a bullish candle, so Monday also it makes sense to go up. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I will take an L, no problem. But at this case, at least I was right, and I am literally using the strategy I've learned, using the information I have right now. I am literally predicting all of these moves, which is a very good, ideal thing to do. You can't predict the market, obviously, but yeah, for now, I'm doing it. So now I open the daily chart for you. In the daily chart, it's also rejecting from the daily demand zone right here. My daily bias is bullish. And now we go to the H4. What we do on the H4, we look at the price action. Clearly we can see there was a change of character on the H4 right here, change of character to the upside. So whenever there is change of character, there will be a demand order block here on the lower time frames, which I have marked exactly. I will show you. And Monday I was looking for buys, so now let me play price for you and show you why I was looking for buys. It was a very clean buys because of this. Look at this volume right here, man. Look at the volume. This is a very strong order block because of the volume, because of the market structure shift, change of character. Friday, it took out Friday's high, so much of volume right here, and it was also NFP week. It was an NFP, and this demand zone was made on New York session. You can clearly see it, 1730 is the New York session. And there was also a very huge fair value gap, which will get filled to the T. And let me now show you the price. 1 hourly, I was looking for buys. That change of character is from the next day, so pardon it for now. If I open the M15, then we can clearly see the market came back all the way to my marked demand zone. This was the demand zone I was looking for to buy, and the Asian low liquidity got swept. There was a move on 12:30 p.m. It was a 12:30 p.m. trade, and there was no news on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. There's no news, so those days are ideal to trade, because whenever there is no news and the banks are open, those are the days I am seeing the most success in. But unfortunately, this trade was a break-even trade because it was a partial. Obviously, I took partials here. I break even the trade, so it was a break-even trade. To be honest, I could have, if I was so sure on my bias, I could have taken a second entry right here. And also we also have to keep in mind, it was a New York session demand zone, so it is most ideal to make the move on next New York session. So we could have 100% take this trade on the New York session, which literally the price flown on New York session, the price literally flown to the upside. And yeah, and then the rest is history. So now Now we go to Tuesday. That was the Monday's trade right there. It was a break-even trade, and if I had entered it again, it would have been a winner. So now we go on Monday. Monday, it's clearly bullish. I am not showing you the DXY correlation for now because it will become a very big video, but I know how to correlate the trades with DXY and I know exactly what to look for now. So if you want that, I can do it for you another time, but for now I'm just making this weekly breakdown for you guys. As we can also see here on GBP USD, Monday closed as very bullish candle, so there's no meaning looking for sales, right? No meaning doing something the price can do. Obviously anything can happen in the market, but it only makes sense to go up for me, at least for now, until and unless the price shows us that it has potential to go down. Whereas GBP USD also closed as a bearish pin bar, and Euro USD also closed as a bullish pin bar. So I'm looking for obviously buys on Tuesday. So now let me take you on Tuesday's price action right there. On the 4-hourly, look at this. On Monday's trade was very strong because this was a very strong demand zone, change of character, fair value gap. Everything we want to see in a trade was here in this demand zone. But look at this. Monday's demand zone is not that strong because it was not able to break structure above this point. We have to keep that in mind. Small things like this make a huge difference. So this might be a liquidity sweep and the price might continue to go down, right? So that was the first sign. So that Tuesday we were not that certain like Monday. Tuesday was not that certain like Monday, but on the hourly we got a change of character. Obviously this was not one of the strongest change of character, but we considered this as a structure, and if we consider this as a structure, then we can consider this as a change of character. So yeah, as I'm backtesting, I'm trying everything. So this was the demand zone I was looking for buys on Tuesday. And as I said again, I will not show the DXY correlation for now, but yeah, stay tuned for that video. On GBP USD, exactly what we want to see happen. The Asian range was trending down. It was in 34 pips move, which is a decent sized Asian range, and literally the price came down. I took this trade too, bro. It was a clean trade, to be honest, but the higher time frames were not that certain, so maybe I would not take this trade on the live markets. But yeah, if I had taken this trade, this was a London session trade, this was a very good rejection here. I would look for this rejection always, our demand zone. But also one thing, bro, our demand zone didn't got mitigated here, right? Our demand zone didn't got mitigated, so this was a losing trade. Tuesday we took a losing trade, so yeah, part of the game, bro. You cannot escape that. Now we go on to Wednesday. Simple. The weekly breakdown is as simple as it can get. Wednesday, I was looking for Wednesday. If I see the GBP USD, it's clearly looking like a bullish candle, right? But yeah, here the important things comes into play. We go to DXY. Clearly we can see this candle has so much of buying pressure right here, so much of bullishness, so it doesn't make sense for GBP to go up and also the DXY to go up. So now to confirm this, we go to the Euro USD. Euro USD, this candle is a very, very bearish candle. This pattern, if you know the this candlestick pattern, this is a evening star formation right here. I know these things because previously I used to trade a price action strategy where I know engulfing, shooting star, morning star, evening star, so much of candlesticks, momentum candlesticks, and spinning top, tweezer tops, right? So that helps me a lot in confirming my bias. So obviously my bias is bearish on GBP USD, looking at the Euro USD. So now I go to the hourly time frame. Sorry, first I will go to the 4-hourly to show you the price action. And even Wednesday was not one of the beautifulest trade because for the market to change character, until and unless the market change character, because the market is now bullish, right? On the H4 it's bullish, even for a short term it's bullish. So it's not ideal to look for a trade because the change of character would have happened if body closed below this, which it failed. Even though this is a B class setup, we could have taken this trade, but let me show you what happened exactly. And also this was a liquidity sweep trade. Even in this trade, the DXY correlation was perfect. So yeah, let me go to the M15. There was liquidity here. Let me show you. This was London session liquidity, as you can see. And we know if the previous sessions, London session or New York session, has given the liquidity, the huge sellers enter the market, then next day the London session itself can go manipulate that and then make the move. We have learned from this trade right there. if I'm looking for, my bias was bearish, so I'm looking for Asian high to sweep. Perfection, Asian high liquidity sweep, sweep this Asian high liquidity sweep this London session liquidity. So much of sellers here. And my bias, the most important thing was the daily bias. Daily bias was bearish. We took the trade on 12:30 again. This week, every day we got the trade on 12:30, so might be 12:30 is the play. 7 a.m. UK time. This was a beautiful trade. Could have passed any prop firm challenge with this. So Wednesday was a beautiful trade. And also one thing, there was no news on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, which is a very, very unique thing and very, very good thing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there was no news. So these were the days where we could have capitalized in the markets. As we know, when there is no news and the banks are open, those are the days where we are getting the most beautiful moves. And Thursday and Friday, there is CPI and PPI, so not ideal to trade, but obviously just because there is CPI and PPI doesn't mean that we will not trade. But yeah, let me show you what happened. And I have noticed that whenever there is high impact news, the markets are getting manipulated all day. All day the markets are getting manipulated because due to news, it has to make huge moves, right? That's why I guess it's manipulating to fuel a huge move. If we can stay at the correct side of the market, it will help us so much. Wednesday was clearly a bearish candle, so obviously Thursday we are looking for sells again due to this Tuesday. Sorry. Obviously Wednesday was a bearish, so Thursday I'm looking for sells again. And if I go to the USD to confirm it, it's a bullish pin bar. Yeah, not one of the strongest bullish pin bars, but yeah, I'm looking for buys. And if I go to Euro USD, it is also a bearish candle, but not one of the strongest. So bias was also not clear on Thursday, not ideal day to trade, and also there was so much of news. But on the 4-hourly time frame, finally the change of character also didn't happen. Yeah, might be. Yeah, didn't happen, man. So Thursday was not ideal to trade, to be honest. Now I am reflecting back, so Thursday was not ideal to trade. Whereas on the hourly time frame, we can see Wednesday made the beautiful move. So now on Wednesday, this is the supply zone I'm watching for. If I'm looking for sales, obviously this is the supply zone I'm marking for because there was a huge move from here. And let me show you what happened. I will not go on to the 15 because there was nothing on the 15. I'll clearly show you. Thursday went up, respected my supply zone, but look at this. Look at this, bro. Look at this. The Thursday CPI news literally went and manipulated. I will show you how many candles. It literally went and manipulated this previous day high, this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 previous days highs, bro. It literally went down, and the news does that. The purpose of a news in a market is to go and manipulate the positions, make a huge move, manipulate, and then come down. If we can stay at the correct side of the market at this time, we will be a lot of profitable right here, right? It took out 5 days previous day high, so much of liquidity, and then fuel the move to the downside. If you were patient enough to not take this trade and enter somewhere around here with a 10 pip stop loss, something like this, you could have made a bag right here. Also, that's one way to trade news, but not ideal to trade again. News, I don't recommend anyone to trade news because it is so uncertain. The market is already so uncertain, so why do you want to make it even uncertainer, right? So after seeing this Thursday candle, obviously I'm looking for sales on Friday because Friday, yeah, there can be a reversal on Friday. It is possible, but we are trading with the trend. We are pro trend traders, so we'll go with the trend to the downside. And also GBP, the dollar is looking bullish, so Friday I'm looking for sales. Even on Friday, finally the change of character happened to the downside right here. Yeah, here finally we can see there's a change of character in the H4, which is a very good sign. Now we are looking for sales. Now our sales get more valid. So on the 4-hour, after a lower low, we know that it can continue down, but the most ideal case scenario will be a lower high, rejection from correction move, and then enter the market at a lower high after the lower high is complete. That's the ideal case scenario. So let me show you what happened here. If I show you what happened here was, I was looking for buys. After I was looking for sales. The supply zone was very big on the H4 and also on the hourly, so not an ideal day to trade. And also there was CPI and PPI. Thursday was CPI, PPI, so high impact news. And if you got so many beautiful trades early on the week, why do you want to risk it? on the live markets, I'm 100% sure I would have not taken this trade. So we can see there was in 11:30 and also 11:30 there was GBP news right here, GDP. So even that, so Friday was a not trade day for me, to be honest, but it did end up coming up lower highs, lower lows. Obviously the market is not wrong, bro. Lower lows made the lower high. We have to generate the skill to predict this lower high and then enter the market at the correct time. If you can do that, that's what you need to become profitable. Yeah, so it's the weekly breakdown for you guys. It's a very informative video if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, so the previous weekly low is still not taken, so next week this will be the draw of liquidity right here.